pretty girl or the handsome guy that's running by you at the marathon, right? You know, it's not pretty guy. You're talking about that that distraction. What's that, Lenita?
I live in DC. There are lots of pretty guys.
Well, there's that as well. Fair enough. Okay, the pretty girl or the pretty guy, right? You get that distraction, right? So it's about eliminating that distraction, putting yourself in a position that you're not going to let a client call in. When I'm doing my lead generation, that phone goes one direction, out. Even if I call somebody and I think they're calling me back, I don't answer it. Okay, it is one direction. And
Dan,
then,
I'm sorry. Could you repeat that? Dan, I'm so sorry.
Yes.
I don't mean to cut you off. Could you repeat that because you kind of like faded out, but it sounded like something that I struggle with right now. If you could please repeat that.
Of course. One direction and one direction only during lead generation, outbound. If I call Johnny and Johnny I thought was the seller and Johnny calls me back, I don't answer it. At the end of my lead generation, then I listen to the messages and then I call Johnny again. Or if he calls me back and I know it's Johnny, I'll text him. And the reason for that is because if you don't establish a ground game, you don't establish rules, then guess what? Lenita's calling me back when I think it's Johnny. And Lenita wants to talk to me about DC or whatever. Okay, and now I have the opportunity to get distracted. So when you can keep the discipline of here are the rules. The rules are my email's not open. The rules are I don't answer phone calls coming in. If somebody calls in, I'll send them an automatic text, hey, I'll give you a call back. Because guess what? If Johnny's going to actually be returning my phone call and he's a seller, he actually wants to have a conversation with me. He's going to be there an hour from now. Okay? Because I'm not chasing him at that point if he's being responsive to me. So having that time that's in your schedule every single day, blocking it, and then before you start your lead generation, you have to know who you're going to contact. So you should do that the night before typically or at the end of the day.
Hey,
or
Dan.
very, very early in the morning. For me, I do it super early in the morning.
Just kind of nitpicking here, but I do want to get your perspective on this. So say, for instance, you call somebody that you don't believe has your phone number, right? And you continue to make your calls, and an hour later, you recognize that they're calling you back. And so now it's like maybe they're just calling you back because they didn't recognize the number initially. At that point, do you pick up the phone, or do you allow it to still go to voicemail and then hope to get in touch with them when you're done lead generating?
When I'm done with lead gen.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, it's because here's the thing. If it's just somebody just calling me back and it's like a loose prospect, odds are it's not going to be a good call anyways. Right? Like I could get to the next loose prospect just as easily. So you don't have to implement the rules that I have, but those are my rules. Okay? And what I think is important is that you look at the bullet points here, blocking your time, knowing who you're going to contact, and eliminating distraction. Okay? For me, I know what my distractions are going to be. You probably each have a different distraction. I would expect that you do. So it's just about identifying what are those distractions, and now let me get them out of the way. All right. Shadrach, how often do you practice your scripts?
Not as consistent as I should be doing it, but I do it daily as I call.
And then when you're not calling, how often are you practicing your scripts?
I have my sheet with me most of the day, so it hasn't been very consistent, honestly. But I would say maybe like twice a week that I'm looking at my scripts.
Okay. I know that we do it as a team 3 times a week, so I was hoping that you would have said at least 3.
Well, yeah, that I was thinking more independently.
Yeah, I know. So 5 times a week then,
Yeah.
right?
'Cause,
Because
yeah,
you're doing it 3 times with the team and then 2 times independently. And
that's true.
you're still saying that's not enough. So the reason why we want to practice our scripts, because you go back to the the foundation of communication, which is be in rapport, ask adept questions, actively listen. If you didn't write that down before, you should. Be in rapport, ask adept questions, actively listen. When you know your scripts, then you're going to be able to then actively listen. Now, I wrote in this bullet point something that I'm going to be transparent with you guys. I don't actually believe it. However, I included it in the curriculum and in my book because I think that for most people, it's the right thing for them to hear, which is to prepare to overcome objections. What do you guys think? Why do you think that I would say that I don't quite believe that?
Well, if your script and your preparation is built around answering those objections before they come, you don't have to go ahead, and that's almost asking for something bad to happen. It's also by preparing for the objection. No, prepare for the close. Prepare for the business.
Yeah. Now I can handle any objection, and I'm going to tell you, when I get an objection, well, the first thing that I do is I handle the objection, and here's the pattern: handle an objection. If you want to write this down, which would be to repeat, affirm, isolate, handle the objection. That's the 3-step. The 5-step is repeat, affirm, isolate, change the conversation, pull a Columbo, handle the objection. I'll expand on those here in a second for you guys. However, I think Ephraim's completely correct. So the first thing I do when I get an objection, I say, oh, I'll just handle it. I do one of those 2 things, handle it. The second thing is I say, my goodness, I screwed something up. What did I screw up? Because if I get an objection, it tells me that I screwed up the presentation at some point. And the presentation should be done throughout time. Okay? My listing presentation that I'm going on this afternoon, after this at 4:30, I've already given 85% of that presentation through the systems before I even get there. Doing my process correctly when I get there today, then what others may observe as my listing presentation is just simply the tip of the iceberg. Because the real work goes before I even get there. And we'll discuss that through the coming weeks, okay? Real quick sidebar here. If you guys want to write this down, how to handle an objection. Repeat, affirm. So somebody give me an objection, please.
Oh, it's probably not the right time right now.
Oh, okay. Good. It's probably not the right time right now.
That's correct.
Well, okay. Well, you're smart for making sure that it is the right time. And just out of curiosity, when will be the right time?
I really don't know.
Okay. Is there anything else besides this not being the right time right now that's holding you and your wife back from moving forward?
No.
Okay, now I'll handle the objection. I actually got in front of myself on that. Let me repeat. Let me retract that. Let's do that same thing again. So Ephraim, hit me up with that again.
I don't think it's the right time.
Okay, so you don't think it's the right time. Well,
no,
you're smart for making sure that it is the right time. And out of curiosity, is there anything else besides right now not being the right time that's stopping you and your wife from moving forward?
I couldn't see why. Why not?
Okay, you couldn't see why not. Now I handle the objection. Okay, so it's repeat affirm. He says it's not the right time. What did I say? It's not the right time. Affirm, you're smart for making sure it's the right time. Isolate, is there anything else besides this being the right time from you stopping, from you moving forward? And then you handle it. The reason why you want to isolate it is what you don't want to do is handle it and then get hit in the head with 3 more objections later. All right.
Dan, so what was
Yeah.
your frame of mind when you threw back at me? Then what does the right time look like for you?
I don't know if I had a frame of mind. That was a reactive.
Yeah, the timeshare, I used to beat people up like that all the time with that one.
Yeah.
Where I'll go ahead. So we weren't as nice as the isolating, the reaffirming, the isolating. We weren't as nice. We'll beat it up, beat you up with that, like that, making the way I felt stupid because I didn't have an answer for you. And
yeah, I think
I don't know. That could be adversarial at a listing presentation, I would say.
Well, I think it's a smokescreen in and of itself. So I think it's not the right time. It's not the right time. Mostly, it could be not the right time. And if it's not the right time, we can actually handle that. So when is the right time? Oh, well, I want to make sure my kids are done with school. Great. So let's talk about that timing. And now you can handle it. More likely, it's probably a smokescreen now.
Yeah.
And so if it is a smokescreen, tell me more about that. And that's the way that you handle smokescreens is tell me more about that. The 5-step, you're welcome. The 5-step objection removal is it's not the right time. Is the objection, okay, so it's not the right time. You repeat that back. You're smart for making sure that it is the right time. Is there, and then you isolate it. Is there anything else besides the right time right now that would stop you from not moving forward? And then you change the subject. You say, it's really been, been pretty cold out there, huh? You just sort of flow into a new conversation. Then you pull what's called a Columbo. John Turner definitely won't understand what a Columbo means. You'll have to Google that and figure out who Columbo is. So what the Columbo is.
I know Columbo.
Oh, you do? Oh, my goodness. I'm impressed. So Columbo's almost like he's got the cigar and he's walking out the door and he's like, just one more thing. So that's what the Columbo is. So you change your subject and then you pull the Columbo with, I was just thinking. And then you handle the objection. So that's the 5-step. Yes, ma'am.
Would you, when you say change the subject, would you also call that level shift?
Yeah, you could. Yes. Yep. If you want to put a label on it, you could. Okay, so what we want to do now is we want to select what you're going to do for your lead generation technique, short term and long term. If you don't have that figured out right now, it's okay. I know that I've worked with each of you one-on-one and in group sessions. Who here feels that we need to dive into what your short-term strategy might be and what your long-term strategy might be?
I for one do.
Okay, good. Which of those do you need to work on, or both?
I'm gonna go ahead and say the short term.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely the short term, because everything is most affected uniquely now because of New York State mandates. So it's and also the type of inventory. I like what the gentleman, I don't see his name. I love the door knocking aspect and leaving Johnny. I love that. I'm like, oh my goodness. But people that get caught door knocking or anything, it's $11,000 fine the first time. Second time, it's your license is revoked. And that's the same for even circle prospecting or expired, etc.
Here's the deal. This isn't the best strategy for you. This is a short-term strategy. I'm going to say do Facebook ads. Because you can. I think for you, Efren, I would normally be coaching you on FSBOs, I think, or absentee owners.
Yeah. So and when we spoke and we dove in a little bit, the FISBOs,
Yeah.
that was some of the ideas, but just between my county and the two that I've been working, and that's north of me up to an hour and a half. On average, I'm seeing like about 12 FISBOs between counties. It's not that much
Can you
either. And
can you
that's
prospect them?
far. I can I can if I don't get caught. But the way to maneuver, as what we discussed, would be to actually bring them my client and then build
Yeah,
rapport
that's
and
right.
value. However, in my immediate county, there, like, I wouldn't want to take a listing an hour and a half away from me, right? Working with a buyer,
Yeah.
that's my different. I drove 55 minutes today for my home inspection, but for the listing, no. And there are no FISBOs in my county, man. And or even
Are you sure about that? Have
right
you checked
outside.
RedX?
The data that I have on RedX, a lot of it was what I found on Zillow, and it's just very limited, So I'm
Okay.
like, it's I don't know what's going on, and I'm just like at a standstill with it.
Okay. Let's do Facebook ads until we can get past the stupid. Well, I'm sorry. Until the rules change. Hold on one second,
All
Lenita.
right.
I'll get to you in a second. What are your thoughts about that?
Oh, you're asking me, or you're asking the group?
Yeah. I'm asking you.
So as far as Facebook, so I don't want to be a pessimist, but I haven't had at all success with Facebook leads. I've gotten plenty,
Okay.
but nothing good, right? However, the organic leads that I've been getting from content creation through Facebook and Instagram, as well as YouTube, has been giving me my business to date, despite the mandates of our governor. But yeah, also I don't have the capital to burn on Facebook leads right now.
How many leads have you
Or
gotten in the
campaigns.
past? Yeah.
So when I was able to dish out $500 a month at minimum, I was seeing about 120 to 180 leads come monthly, regularly. And then most of it was just junk. And I haven't converted one Facebook lead that from paid in 3 years. And however, the one Facebook lead that I have converted was organic, that came from Facebook directly.
Okay. Well, the number should be 1 to 100 is what the number should be. The challenge with that is it's easy because it's such a small number. It's easy to miss it.
Especially if you don't have a dedicated system for that.
Yeah.
The nurturing.
What CRM are you using?
Composition Notebook. It was Top Producer.
Okay. Can you text them? Do you have the ability to text them, like, through the system?
Through Top Producer, no. I know that other ones, like Zapier, would probably allow me to do so. But yeah, currently right now, my business has not been large enough. Despite I've just been surviving on the price points and the commissions just being bigger, that I don't have to necessarily do immense volume for the payout. To put food on the table right now. But right now I wouldn't say that I've been busy enough to invest in a CRM that has all these added features that would just be like another expense. Private school is expensive right now.
Yeah.
And coaching.
Okay.
Nah, I'm kidding.
So what we want to do is we want to figure out what we can do. So for sale by owners are out, Facebook ads are out, open houses.
Open houses are limited, but it's a possibility. It's not shut down.
Okay. So that might be your only real true option for short-term business.
Yes. That would be outside of my content creation that has to this point has been getting me my business.
Okay.
That's where I got
So
my
that
last
would be
3
your
clients.
That's how Johnny got his last 3 clients. So that would be your short-term strategy, friend. And then your long-term is the content creation. Until the rules change, and then we can get back to FSBOs.
Got it.
You good with that?
Sure thing, sir.
All right. Lanita, you were going to share something?
No, I simply wondered what a Facebook ad would look like for Ephraim.
So you would be advertising either like a list of homes for sale, or you would be advertising like the top 10 best homes, or you would be advertising a specific home for sale. So it's basically, you look at it like a cheese in a mouse trap. The mouse wants the cheese. That's your buyer wants the home. So you put that in there, and then boom, you
Okay.
convert them.
Or something like a first-time seller program, or something to bring people in.
Yeah.
That you pay for
Sure.
the ad.
That would work.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so here's some of the things that people in real estate sales often struggle with: the inability to prioritize the most critical activities, which we talked about are the 5 CPI times, allowing people to ask email or other stuff, distractions get in the way, waiting until later to act. That's something that I see a lot of people like. Why? Just figure it out and go. It's better to figure out and go and fall on your face than figure it out and not go and not fall on your face. Pick yourself back up and roll again. Looking at life from a negative perspective, well, that sucks. Guys, see what I just did there? All right. Resistant to help or seek solutions, and allowing chaos in their environment. So those are the things that we know that get in people's way. That